Ever entertained the idea of migrating to Canada? You might want to rethink that after this. Welcome, folks. Today we'll be taking a deep dive into the reality of life in Canada, particularly for immigrants in 2024. We'll be presenting some hard-hitting facts and figures, painting a picture that's not often shown in the glossy immigration brochures or idealized Instagram posts. Our focus will be on the soaring cost of living, which has skyrocketed over the past years, making it increasingly difficult for individuals to make ends meet. We'll also discuss the harsh reality of trying to survive on minimum wage in most provinces. It's a struggle that's all too real for many, yet often overlooked in the grand narrative of the Canadian dream. So if you've been considering a move to the Great White North, this video is a must-watch. Stay tuned as we delve into the reasons why life in Canada can be more challenging than it appears. First on the list is the rising cost of living. Over the past few years, Canada has seen a significant increase in the cost of basic necessities. Housing, food, transportation, and healthcare all have seen a steep rise in prices. Now, let's dive into the specifics. The cost of housing, particularly in major cities like Vancouver and Toronto, has skyrocketed. Buying a home is often out of reach for many. Renting isn't any easier, with rental prices soaring high above the clouds. It's not uncommon for people to spend more than half of their income just to put a roof over their heads. Then there's the cost of food. With climate change affecting agriculture, the price of groceries has been steadily climbing. A basket of groceries that would have cost you a certain amount a few years ago now costs significantly more. Next up is transportation. Whether you own a car or rely on public transit, getting from point A to point B isn't cheap. Car owners have to deal with the high cost of gas, maintenance, and insurance. And while public transit might seem like a more economical option, the fares have been creeping up, making it an increasingly expensive alternative. Healthcare, though largely publicly funded, has its own hidden costs. Prescription drugs, dental care, mental health services, these are often not covered by the public health system and can add up to a substantial amount. When we compare these costs with those in other countries, it becomes clear that Canada is one of the more expensive places to live. For instance, the cost of living in Canada is considerably higher than in countries like the United States and the United Kingdom. So if you're considering moving to Canada, it's crucial to take these costs into account. While it's true that Canada offers a high standard of living, it comes with a high price tag. As you can see, the cost of living in Canada is not as affordable as you might have thought. Surviving on minimum wage in Canada, that's a tough call. Let's take a moment to look at the reality of the minimum wage across the different provinces. It varies, you know. For example, in Alberta, it's $15 per hour, while in Ontario, it's $14.25. These figures might seem decent at first glance, but when you start to dissect the cost of living, it becomes clear that these wages might not stretch as far as you'd hope. Consider this. Let's say you're working 40 hours a week on minimum wage in Ontario. That's a monthly income of around $2,300 before taxes. After taxes, you're left with roughly $1,900. Now let's start subtracting your monthly expenses. Rent for a one-bedroom apartment in the city center will cost you, on average, $1,500. That leaves you with about $400 for the rest of your monthly expenses. But wait, we haven't factored in utilities, groceries, transportation, and other basic necessities. A monthly transit pass alone can cost up to $150. Groceries for a single person can run you $300 a month. And utilities? That's another $100 at least. So you do the math. After paying for all these basic necessities, you'd be running on empty, with no room for savings or for emergencies. And let's not even talk about extras like dining out, entertainment, or a simple cup of coffee at your local cafe. The numbers just don't add up. This is the reality for many people trying to survive on minimum wage in Canada. It's not impossible, but it's far from easy. It's a constant struggle, a balancing act of making ends meet, and often making tough choices about what to sacrifice. Minimum wage might not provide the comfortable life you're envisioning in Canada, but hey, it's not all gloom and doom. There are opportunities and resources available if you're willing to seek them out. But that's a topic for another time. For now, let's keep exploring the challenges of living in Canada. Let's not forget the weather. Canada's winters are not for the faint-hearted. Now imagine this. You're stepping outside, and the temperature drops to minus 40 degrees Celsius. Yes, you heard that right, minus 40. This is not a rare occurrence in many parts of Canada, especially in provinces that tend to welcome more immigrants. These severe weather conditions can significantly affect your quality of life. Day-to-day tasks become challenging, and if you're from a warmer climate, the adjustment can be particularly tough. The cold can penetrate through layers of clothing, making outdoor activities difficult. And let's not even get started on the snow shoveling. Even the beautiful summers can be short-lived, often giving way to cold snaps before you know it. So if you relish the warmth of the sun, the long winters might prove to be a steep hill to climb. If you're not a fan of freezing temperatures, Canada might not be the place for you. High taxes and a housing crisis? Yes, it's a package deal in Canada. As a newcomer, you may not be aware of Canada's tax system, but it's something you'll want to understand before making your move. The Canadian tax system operates on a progressive scale. The more you earn, the more you pay. While this might seem fair, it can be quite a shock for immigrants who are not accustomed to such high tax rates. In fact, the tax rate in Canada is among the highest in the world. For instance, that someone earning $75,000 a year could end up paying about 29% of their income in taxes. That's a significant chunk of your hard-earned money going straight to the government. And let's not forget the goods and services tax, or GST, a value-added tax levied on most goods and services sold for domestic consumption. It adds an additional 5% to your day-to-day expenses. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the housing crisis. Home prices in Canada have skyrocketed in recent years, making it incredibly difficult for new immigrants to find affordable housing. In cities like Vancouver and Toronto, the average price of a home is over $1 million, and if you're thinking about getting a mortgage, think again. The stringent mortgage rules in Canada make it nearly impossible for immigrants to qualify. Even if you do qualify, the high interest rates could leave you struggling to make ends meet. The housing crisis has led to an increase in homelessness and has forced many people to live in substandard conditions. It's a serious issue that the government is struggling to address, and it's causing significant stress for immigrants who are trying to make a new life in Canada. So, high taxes and a housing crisis, yes, they're a reality in Canada, and they're two of the many challenges immigrants face when they move to this beautiful country. These are serious considerations to keep in mind before packing your bags for Canada. Despite these challenges, Canada remains a beautiful country. It's a land that's rich in natural beauty, from the awe-inspiring Rocky Mountains to the serene and vast landscapes of the Yukon. But Canada's beauty is more than just skin deep. It's a country that is proud of its multicultural society, a mosaic of cultures from around the globe, living in harmony and enriching each other's lives. It's this diversity that gives Canada its unique flavor, its vibrancy, and its charm. Canada also offers opportunities for growth. Whether it's in the bustling cities or the picturesque countryside, there is a chance for everyone to find their niche, to grow, and to thrive. The country has a strong economy and is known for its high standard of living. It's a place where hard work is rewarded and where dreams can come true. However, migrating to a new country is a significant decision, one that should not be taken lightly. It's important to be well-informed to understand the challenges that lie ahead. The rising cost of living, the challenges of earning a living on minimum wage, the harsh weather conditions, the high taxes, and the housing crisis. These are all factors that can make life in Canada stressful and sometimes even depressing. But it's also crucial to remember that every country has its own set of challenges. No place is perfect. It's about finding a place that aligns with your values, your goals, and your dreams. It's about finding a place where you feel you can build a future, where you feel at home. While Canada is a beautiful country, it's important to consider these factors before deciding to migrate. It's not an easy decision, but with the right information and a clear understanding of what you're getting into, it's a decision that you can make with confidence. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content.